Good morning, third grade. Today you have 2 lessons because they are both review lessons. So make sure you're following along for the whole video so that way you know which lessons we're actually, or which problems we're actually doing with each lesson. So for starters, I almost always like to have us do story problems just because those are typically what hold us up on tests or in life. Those are the real life things that we'll experience using math. So I'll read it to you, but then I want you to try to solve it. A square has a perimeter of 32 feet. What is the length of one side? So perimeter means like all the way around. So it's a square. It's very specific that it is a square, and a square means that they have 4 equal sides. So mine won't be super equal, but do my best here. Okay, so that means if it's perimeter, that all together it was 32 feet. Okay, so it needs to know what each side is. So all together, it had the perimeter of 32. And so when we try to find perimeter, I'll remind you, we do side plus side plus side plus side to get the perimeter. So you need to think of what the opposite of that would be. B, a triangle has sides with the lengths of 5 feet, 12 feet, and 13 feet. What is the perimeter? Okay, if you're not sure what to do in that one, draw a triangle. Okay, let's say this one's 12 feet. Make this one a little bit longer. That's 13 feet. And that one's 5 feet. Perimeter, we're making a triangle fence in our backyard. How much would that be? Okay, then on 2, I want you to practice dividing and checking. So make sure you are doing this one also. Okay, so yes, we're doing 1. Yes, we're doing 2. Remember, as always, if you are unsure of your 6s or your 8s, just go ahead and write them out. Write them off to the side, and then you can just count them. All right, following along, you are not doing any of 3. So you don't need to make a big scribble. Just you can do what I did to show that you're not doing 3. I do want you to do all of 4 because these are conversions. If you're not sure of some of them, look them up in your interactive notebook. But since you're doing a review, it means you have a test coming up. Next lesson is a test. So I want you to please practice seeing if you know any of those or all of those. And then after practicing those, you're actually going to apply that with measurement equations. So remember, we first want to look and see what the answer wants to be labeled as. And this time it's grams. And so I see we have 5 grams, but then I see 6 kilograms. So we're going to put a box around the one that is not matching the answer. So we're going to put the box around our 6 kilograms. Some of you are forgetting this step. Please draw the line and label it as grams, because then you're getting confused. You're trying to figure out, like, if you use your 5 or if you use your 6. Well, the reason that we put that line there is because then you're going to see that our 6 is no longer going to be used pretty soon. It's going to turn into a new number as a gram, okay? So then you're only solving in the box now, okay? So ask yourself, is kilograms bigger or smaller than a gram? Okay, figure out what that special number is. Okay, remember, kilo means 1,000. Kilo's on the left of our line of measurements in the metric system. Okay, so then you'd add it all up. So I'll actually do this one just to show you why we draw the box again, I guess. Okay, so going from kilograms to grams, kilograms are bigger. So I'm going to, bigger to smaller means I'm multiplying. Special number is, I just told you, 1,000. There's 1,000 grams before we get to a kilogram. So then, this is where you're not sure. We're not touching the highlighted sections because they are not yet matching. We're trying to make it match. So I have to use what is in my box. So I'm going to use 6 times 1,000 to make, and those are all yellow, just for the sake of showing you that these do not match yet. So I'm going to do 6 times 1,000, and that's going to equal 6,000. So now I can put 6,000 on my line, and now, since that's a green G, now I have grams plus my 5 grams to equal a new amount of grams. So now, if you would have rewrote it, you have your 5 grams plus your 6,000 grams equals how many grams? Okay. All right. Now for number 6, it says make equal fractions in larger terms. Larger terms means we're making the numbers bigger. And it says use 2 as the factor. What does factor mean again? Factor means we multiply. So when we are trying to make an equal fraction, you have to be equal when you're multiplying. So if I multiply my numerator by 2, I also have to multiply my denominator by 2 because that's what makes it equal. I can't just, it's like if I said, okay, I'm going to give one person 2 M&Ms. But I'm not going to give the other person 2 M&Ms. Is that equal? Is that fair? No. So we have to make it fair for our numerator and our denominator. So 4 times 2 is 8, and 7 times 2 is 14. So your new fraction is 8/14. And please remember to don't use this bottom line as your fraction bar. Actually draw your fraction bar like I did. Okay? All right, then find the fractional parts. So 1/6 of 48. Remember, of means multiply and divide. So if this was a whole number over here, we'd be multiplying, but it's not. So that means we have to do the opposite. So that means we're dividing. So when you divide, we always start with our biggest number, just like in subtraction. So it's going to be 48 divided by something. Now you have either the number 1 or the number 6 left over. Which one would it make sense to do? If I did 48 divided by 1, I'm going to get 48 again. So does that make sense? No. So we use our bottom number. 48 divided by 6. So I skip count by 6's. All right. Do those. Then number 8. Work these problems. Don't forget our acronym. PEM does. That tells you it's the order of operation. The order of operation. Okay, you don't need to do any of the homework section. All right, then if we go to the next one, this is why we have 2 lessons today, because this one, it's really taking up a whole page to do 5 questions, and they're all about the chart. So you're going to go ahead and answer those. Okay, so Madeline is in 3rd grade. What time can she go to the library? So you're going to find 3rd grade. What time can she go to the library? Okay. If Emily is in the library at 9:45, what grade is she in? So you need to find what time frame 9:45 would be in. I'm going to warn you, 9:45 is not on the paper. But each one of these bars means you go from 8:30 until 9:15. 9:15 until 10 o'clock. So where would 9:45 come in that? Okay. And then the last page, this is practicing finding our perimeter again. So this is find the perimeter of each habitat. And so for perimeter, you are doing side plus side plus side plus side for however many sides that is. Okay, so It says for the meerkat, the meerkat. So we find the meerkat. Okay, meerkat's right here. Oops. I meant to highlight that one. Here's our meerkat. So if I'm going to find its cage, I have this bar, I have this bar, and I have this bar. So how many sides are you actually adding up all together? Okay. Then the next one, ring-tailed lemur. So find my ring-tailed lemur. It's right here. All right, we already used one of the sides. And I have this side, and I have this side. Be careful on which number you use for this bottom, okay? Because this right here is for your pygmy hippo. This right here is for your cheetah. So which number would you use? Okay? So that's what the back side is. So please do that as well. I know that seems like a lot because I didn't cross off a whole lot, but it's because the second page has a total of 8 questions. And so they're good practice ones that we don't practice all the time. So please do those. All right, good luck. And if you have any questions, please raise your hand.